Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction or read through for Kubera Season 2 episodes 117 through 120, finishing the emergency arc. Gonna read the chapters, gonna read the blog posts, or not blog posts afterwards like I always do. And I said last week that I was told before even reading, this arc's kind of backloaded, so the first one, maybe not as exciting for you as the second. And then I read the first one and I was like, what are you talking about? This is incredibly good. And I mentioned it in the video, and then people in the comments were like, oh yeah, it's this arc. That's totally right. It's an understatement to say that it's backloaded. And again, it's like, this is insane then, because I really, really, really liked the last four chapters. It's like people doubled down, were like, oh yeah, this is, the back half is much better. So either way, with all of that aside, I don't think I have too much to say before we start reading. We really just kind of left off. I love Saha rushing it. Saha's like, okay, yeah, double A now, get in here, we got things to do. That is very fun. We kind of just skimmed over. They're like, vote happened. Come on, Ron, let's go. And also, Ron is not just, double A now, not just there, but also the fact that he's second in the ranking now, which moves him up above Claude. I guess up above his brother as well, second only to Saha, which is insanity, but you love to see it. Like I said in my last character ranking, Ron's my favorite character now. So I was very excited about all of that. And then on the other side of things, we've got Ron and Yuta that's exciting, but on the other side we have the stuff with Asha and Lise, which I'm really excited for, because we're getting to see the journey in depth. It's been really good so far, and I think I'm really excited to see what's up with the person with the brown hair. Like, what were they doing there? Also, we don't know what Claude was up to. There's, like I said, last week's video was something that I said even before in comments and chat and stuff, where I'm like, there are like at least five really important things happening in every Kubera chapter, and sometimes it's hard to process because so much is happening and it's so in-depth and detailed. But with that all aside, let's start reading this one. Episode 117 starts with, how can Hotias fiends not work? Strange. Naturally, it'd be ideal if the horizontal leveling device would start up again. Hotias Fiends is a spell which returns things to their optimal state for a certain amount of time, but there are times when the optimal state is different from what we would normally expect. So this is all, I'm assuming, what's broken, which is causing the ship to go crazy, and they were just trying to fix it with Hotias Fiends. Do we really have no choice but to go all the way to Aero Plateau like this? So the leveling device, or, at least whatever's broken that's causing things to be unlevel, can't be fixed with Hotias Fiends, so either there's something preventing the spell, or, because we have the note here, the optimal state's different from what we'd normally expect. The optimal state being broken is interesting. It's like, I guess, what decides the optimal state? Does Asviens decide the optimal state? Then, who would play a prank like this? We see Claude, I'm assuming, because of the outfit. And Claude looks restrained. I didn't expect that. Then we have episode 117, Emergency Part 5. We see the person with brown hair. Look, don't get me wrong. I don't have anything to do with this girl. What have you done? Using such magic on a human. Someone else may have the right to say that to me. But do you? And they're both floating. I didn't want to get involved like this either. It's a nuisance, to be honest. But I had no choice because you just kept making the situation worse by being indecisive. Anyway, hurry up. If you don't make a decision right here, that girl will be out of your hands, and your chance to get a hold of that power will disappear. And we see the reaction. Some stuff I didn't even really properly remember, even until just earlier today watching Pyrobrahma's reaction. I bring it up a lot. It was going back through Reflection, and in Reflection there are times when I think it was Hotiyama was cast on Lise, and Asha's like, someone else shouldn't decide to take the cards out of my hand or whatever. So showing that Lise is like the people around her are the cards that she's talking about, and being upset that Claude would try to take one of those cards out of her hands. But also there's this moment with Asha and Yuta that I think is really important, where I'm pretty sure Asha is thinking something like, you know, it would be easier for me to accomplish whatever she's planning to accomplish. We still don't even know. It'd be easier to accomplish it without Lise, but, you know, dang it, why does it have to be her? Why can't I, like, get rid of her or whatever? So it almost felt in that scene like Asha would be better off without Lise for some reason, which is weird because I thought Lise would be instrumental to her. But the reason that she can't get rid of Lise, or maybe she only needs Lise's power, not Lise herself, but she just can't bring herself to do anything bad to Lise because she's formed some sort of emotional, like, bond. What is it? Are you surprised that I know so much? Ashirahiro, you aren't the only person involved in this fight. You're also not the only one who's received an oracle, and there are already some people among them who consider you their enemy. And we're getting, okay, one of those, the one in the middle could be Asha, but we're getting mysterious silhouettes, so we might get mysterious, like, villain group introduced this late in. If so, that's incredibly exciting. I understand what you're trying to do by taking that girl to Aero Plateau, but it'll just be an incredible waste of time. So, it's time to change your mind now that I've given you an opportunity. That's not so hard, right? And they're trying to specifically keep her from going to Aero Plateau with Lise, since that's how you've gotten to where you are now. And I wonder if this is some crazy villain group. Are they also maybe people from another planet like Asha? Whoa, the AA certification that not even my brother could get. So this is the legendary golden card. It's not that Lutz couldn't get it, it's that he hasn't gotten it. Save your wide-eyed wonder for later and follow me. And then we see a bit of Yuta. Strange, I don't usually want to eat a half unless I'm starving. I just went hunting and now I'm hungry again. I'd better be careful. But Ron, is he okay? He's not even scared. Should I ask my uncle to make me a priest? Yeah, Ron. But, don't blame Yuta. Tilda, very appetizing. And now we see the life search system. AA Ron Syrafay approved. We have the cities. The life search system that I've only heard about. They say that you're done for good if you don't make it out in time. There's nothing to worry about. You just have to search for one name. You won't run out of time. What's he thinking of doing? I wish I could hear what he's thinking right now, but it's not working. Alright then. Which name should I search for and when? Use the current time. Search for someone named Kubera. And we see him activating his eye color change. Kubera. Those who were named after the god. Well, I guess those people all use fake names, so this is the only way to find them. 1 minute. I hope the person's somewhere nearby, says Tilda. Yeah, it'd be ideal if they were in Eloth. The results are ready. 1 in Rentalo, 1 in Eloth. And then, so this is insane. We know that Agni, I don't know how common the Agni name is, but I'm pretty sure Agni was like, oh yeah, there's a couple people, like, I think he said something, there's 20 people just in a Terra named Agni. So if that's the case, then it's crazy there's only 3 people named Kubera, one of them being Lise. So maybe this is the effect of them being wiped out by Asha, potentially? Use only in emergencies under the instructions of the crew. We're not responsible for accidents which occur following individual use. Only in emergencies. Well, I guess everyone would rush over here if they said anyone could use it any time. I guess everyone would rush over here. Okay. Anyway, this is an emergency, isn't it? Plus, an employee told me to use it. Oh. They said use the elevators, but it's probably not an elevator. It's probably like an escape pod or something, and they're tricking Lise into leaving the ship so she won't make it to Aero Plateau, since for whatever reason they're trying to keep her away. There's only one button inside, too. Does it only go between here and the passenger room? Anyway, it's nice that there's nothing to think about. I was worried it would be complicated. Or maybe not even just an escape pod, but an escape chute, and it's just going to drop her out, and she's going to have to try to float to survive, or else splat against the ground and have to revive. And then she hits it, the door's closed. Thank you for using the Creation Brand Artrim's emergency escape capsule. In this zone, you may not be able to use earth magic. Oh, right! Until the indexes collide. So please check your other spells or equipment. And we see... What? Escape capsule? I thought this went to the passenger room. Escape begins in 20 seconds. 20, 19, 18. No, I have to get out. Come on, open up. There, just a bit more. There's someone coming. Help, get me out of here, please. We see Asha. Asha? 9, 8, 7. Asha, I'm over here. Asha, open the door. Asha looked like she was saying something, and then I don't remember anything. 1, 0. Initiating escape, and we see the blood splatter. So because of the blood splatter and the clang, is it just from the force of her being dropped? Or did it look like Asha was saying something because maybe she was using a Marut spell? But we see it dropping from the ship and we get to be continued. There's so much to think about that I just don't have enough info on yet. Again, what happened to Claude? Who's the person with brown hair? There's other people who have received an oracle, and these people seem to be at odds with Asha. We could be getting villain group intro. Then we still don't know what the deal is with the Kubera name and everything, and how that's going to relate to the trial, other than that, you know, my theory has been that Asha was going around trying to find the person with the power of the name and just ended up killing everyone except for Lee's. So much. Like, and everything with Asha as well. There's so much that's still so mysterious. But either way, I get to continue to learn more. So let's go check out the afterword. The afterword this time says Ron can become a water priestess, but is it really suitable for her? Google Translate went the wrong way with this one. It's not at all strange if you don't know this person's identity or can't understand what they're saying. So can't understand what they're saying. I mean, I think they mean because it's mysterious. I was going to say can't understand what they're saying. Does that mean it was in another language or something? Maybe they're speaking Cartean, but I think they're just saying can't understand what they're saying, as in it's mysterious, and we're supposed to be getting hit with these ideas like oracles, and we're supposed to be thinking, what does it mean? And then, actually, I can't see the letters on the screen very well, so I opened my eyes wide. Then the wound on his arm was caused when the transport ship flipped over again. Right. Okay. 105 empathy on this one. I can't just sit here and wait. I need to continue reading, so let's go to 118. And now we start with the horizontal leveling device has been restored. We don't know why, but we have experienced some difficulty in restoring the device because Hotiasvin's wasn't working until just a minute ago, but the spell just worked. Okay, so it was the spell not working instead of that being the ideal state. Or it could be the ideal state because some force greater than the humans, whether it's the gods or some like will of the universe, needed Lise to not be here. And if it is the spell not working, could it be somebody who potentially can use chaos magic somehow, and that works like the Tarka Shura's eyes work? That would be, best theory I've got, is that for some reason, just like Asha can somehow still use Hoti Vishnu, maybe there are people who can still use the original, oh wait, no. Kali is still chaos, so that's Marut who was the replacement for Shiva. So it would be destruction then, but we don't know if there's even a such thing as like a Hoti or Bhavati Kali, right? But if there is, maybe again that is like magic canceling effects. Okay. Then We apologize greatly for the inconvenience. We'll inform you about receiving compensation for this incident when you arrive at Arrow Plateau. Like, maybe the people of Wilrarv don't think that there's, like, chaos magic? Or one of these people could be some sort of miraculous, like, Taraka half or something. Though it seems like Yuta's the only important Taraka other than Taraka herself. Maybe we'll be proven wrong on that. But maybe, though the people of Wilrarv don't know about chaos magic, maybe if, again, the people from the mysterious group are like Asha, maybe there are people who could use it. Then, this transport ship is expected to enter Arrow Plateau's initial line of defense momentarily. There may be some slight turbulence, so please remain seated. We have Asha with her head in her hand. Emergency Part 6. So whatever happened, it does seem to be emotionally bothering Asha. Because, again, the stuff with Lise and Asha is really, 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 really complex. And I'm still thinking about Claude. I still want to know what happened there. That's odd. The region is a total wasteland where no one could live. Sorry, Ron, but search one more time. For 12 hours ago. Sure. Huh? That person was in Calibloom 12 hours ago. Then it must be the transport ship. That's right. People normally can't travel that far in such a short time, but it would make sense if they took the transport ship that goes from Calibloom to Arrow Plateau. But is an Asha on that transport ship? In the letter from Lutz, it clearly said that Asha was going to Arrow Plateau today. Oh my god. Does that mean that the killer and the victim are on the same ship? There's a good chance that they happened to take the ship together by coincidence, and that Asha didn't know that her target was right next to her. That would be a relief. Excuse me, can I leave now? Could you answer me, please? Says Ron. Sure, you can leave for now, Ron. I'll explain everything properly, so let's go. The greatest reason that the accidental manslaughter incident of 29 people was suspected to be intentional is that all of the victims were people who had not properly registered their births and were living without any kind of identification, so just like Lise out in her village. Accidental manslaughter of 29 people. What could have been their reason for living without clear identification when they would have had to go through the trouble of finding someone to vouch for them every time they entered a city? Could it be a coincidence that the people Asha killed by accident all happened to be lacking identification? There was plenty of room for suspicion, but the jury decided that the incident was an accident, and Asha was released with just a penalty fee. Okay, so I think some confusion here, for me, is that they keep calling it an incident as if it was one thing where Asha killed 29 people at once, but it doesn't actually seem to be that. It doesn't seem to be that Asha killed 29 people at once. It seems to be a string of 29 killings that were blamed on Asha. Right? Or is, like, incident actually correct? Yeah, I've heard up until there from my brother, but Asha doesn't appear to have any motivation for killing those people, and they didn't have anything in common aside from their lack of identification. That's right, at the time that was true, but recently, the guild president has been informed that some of the 29 victims used a god's name as their own name, so he suspected that perhaps this was a crime targeting people named after gods, and through the life search system, he searched for the names of major gods, since it was the only way to search for people who were not registered electronically. The life search system is a godly item created by the primeval god Brahma, when she, I'm assuming, created the magic testing sites. The name can find anyone living or whose name matches the search term. Or I guess, can the gods, much like the Gnostica, can they just go back and forth between gender? Current location of people with the name Agni, and we see there are a bunch of them. There weren't many people named after the other gods, and they didn't appear to have any connection to the accidental manslaughter incident. Or maybe I'm incorrect about that. The problem was the name Kubera. Not only did the system turn up a great deal of results, but the number of people had rapidly declined over the years. One thing that particularly caught our attention was the fact that the timing of the accidental manslaughter coincided with the locations of the victims. There were actually more than 29 people who died, but when you consider the fact that there are still murders out there which haven't been uncovered, The number could easily be explained. Okay, so assuming then that there's 29 they know about because it was reported, but because these were people that were living kind of off the grid, so to speak, there could be more probably that were just never reported because they're off the grid. Wait, so what's your point? You're saying Asha killed people with the name Kubera. I'm saying that she still is, since she'll try to kill the remaining 3 people as well. So, the easiest one to find can be the one on the transport ship? Yeah, there wouldn't be many passengers since it's a transport ship, and if any of them boarded the ship without identification under the guarantee of someone else, we'll be able to find them easily. Alright, we have to act quickly before Asha figures out... And then something happens. Oh, Yuta left. Obviously Samfati will will notice as soon as I surify. But I have no choice to do this, even though it strains me. And he uses the ability used before again. I still don't agree. Have you thought about why the other Gnostikas, aside from Akasha, are not being very cooperative in this matter? They all want my father to wake up again, but Akasha's method's too extreme. Cooperating with the snakes and trying to kill the king's own family. Even if my father wakes up, he won't be very happy about how you've done it. You're cooperating with the snakes too, you know. But that's just to protect Jatayu and Kalavinka. Alright, she doesn't like it when I say the name Jatayu. Anyway, Samfati, let's give it some time and find Kalavinka so we can go back together. What's the rush? No matter how dangerous his powers may be, he's just a Rakshasa who's only recently grew to 3rd stage. You can take it easy and keep an eye on him, if you're rushing because of your personal vendetta. If you're not going to tell me, then forget it. I'll find him myself. Samfati. And we see the escape pod lodged in the ground. We have God Kubera in tiny form. And he kind of sees through his hand. So is what I was saying way earlier true? Is God Kubera going to start fading away as Lise becomes more and more Kubera and uses more and more of her power as Kubera? Where do you want to go, child? To be continued. Okay, really interesting stuff. I'm scared to look down and accidentally see any of those thumbnails. So, exciting chapter again, lots of mystery, a lot of things have been explained now to Ran and Yuta. I thought Yuta could only teleport to where his scarf was, so with him teleporting here, I don't know how he's doing it or where he's going, so that'll be neat. Yeah, I'm excited to see where things go, but I don't want to wait. I want to keep reading, so let's go check out the afterword. Afterword this time says 2014. 2014 is almost over. Hope to see you next year as well. Tilda's like a teacher. She actually used to be a teacher. Then, even when I'm busy, I take off my clothes neatly and then take out my wings. I feel bad if I rip the clothes I just bought. Oh, because he took the jacket off before going. Then, how does Samfati find Yuta? Continued in the next episode. Okay, yeah, we're really just cliffhung 111 empathy. I gotta see what happens for the next one. Starting 119, and we have where Yuta ended up. Using this without any kind of medium really strains me. I think this is around where that system showed. Okay, so he can use it without moving to a piece of himself. But she must have moved closer to Ura Plateau by now, right? I just hope she hasn't entered the city yet. He looks down, then reacts. Lise. Emergency Part 7. We have God Kubera as Yuta shows up. I wonder, is this the first time we're actually having somebody else see God Kubera? Well, actually, there was the one time when he protected her with the Sword of Return. So there is that where Ran saw it, and also Sagara, of course. But Sagara knows who God Kubera is. What happened? What happened to Lise? She's not dead, so just calm down and listen to me. Do I look like I can calm down right now? What were you doing while Lise was passed out here? I don't think you should be saying that when you got here later than me. Hey look, why do you think I left her? Even without me, she has you, so I thought that you would be able to protect her from any danger unless Lise confronted some Rakshasas. That's why I thought it'd be better for a dangerous guy like me to leave her alone. But what's this? Were you just bragging when you made your promise in the waterways? Really? I kind of don't remember their waterway interaction. You refused to give me the sword of return, but where's all that confidence gone now? It's not like an enemy appeared who was more powerful than you. How could you not even protect Lise from other humans? If I had known you couldn't even handle this, I would have just stayed with her. You sure talk a lot more now that you've grown. I don't have time to argue with you. If you want to save Lise, be quiet and listen to me, or just keep on talking if you don't care whether she lives or dies. Lise fell from the transport ship. Based on the regional characteristics of this place, neither Hoti Kubera, Bhavati Kubera, nor self-regeneration worked at all. She wasn't injured too badly from the fall, since she was in an escape device, but she was already on the brink of death from wounds that she got right before the fall. If I had been any later, Lise would have been dead. Wounds that she got right before the fall? You mean Asha? Did Asha do this? Okay, since she would have died without this intervention, and she couldn't use the abilities, was the reason Asha was upset because Asha thinks she did kill Lise. Maybe again, like she used Bhavati Marut or whatever to make that vertical slice and just sliced her. And she thinks that she killed Lise, and that's why she was upset. So, she really did it. Even though she debated with herself a lot, I thought she decided to let her live. And yet after all, Asha's probably leaned toward killing Lise after I left. Since Lise was no longer valuable to use, I knew I should have stayed with her. That's probably not true. If she were thinking of you, she wouldn't have done this. She would have at least been worried about your revenge. Revenge? No, I can't get revenge. I may be upset and angry about the fact that Lise has been injured, but if she had completely died, I probably wouldn't even be sad, let alone be vengeful. I would just leave without looking back, thinking, what value could a mere human's body have? Is that what you believe? It's not what I believe, it's a fact. I wasn't created to be able to love. Even my feelings for Lise are just a different kind of hunger. If Lise dies and loses her value as something to eat, then my feelings toward her would probably grow completely cold. Have you thought about why Agni tolerated you? No. Do you know why? I was kind of curious about that, actually. Then continue being curious. That's a good panel. I healed her with my power. Bring her back to the transport ship before it arrives at Aero Plateau. To the transport ship? You want me to send Lise back there, even though Asha attacked her? If she comes back alive, Asha won't be able to harm her again. Or rather, she wouldn't even bother trying to hurt her, because she knows it wouldn't do any good. There's no way she wouldn't catch on to what it means that Lise came back alive. Then, Asha would only have one choice left. Right now, the safest option is to leave her next to Asha, so do as I say. Alright, but are you okay? I don't need your concern, don't worry about me. I don't really want to worry about you either, but still, I felt like I should ask out of courtesy, since I owe you something. Do you have anything you'd like to tell me? And then, seemingly nothing unless it got off-screened. Why would he say that at the end? Okay, no, so we did say something. What a pathetic god. There's the transport ship. Perfect. I'll just have to reach it before it enters the city. And is this going to be the sky close space? What the? It doesn't look like a barrier. I'm sure I could just break through it, but it'd probably put Lise in danger. I have no choice. I'll just use it once more. Just once more to get to the ship. And he uses his ability to move in close to it. It's alright. It's alright, still. And is this where Symphati jumps in now that Yuta's weakened himself by overusing his ability? To be continued. She's staring down from space. But this is interesting. Since it's a sky-closed space, I feel like it would be the least effective close space against the Garudas, right? Though again, I guess Yuta is more Taraka than he is Garuda at this point. Okay, Well, with that aside, we still have more. We still have more blog posts to check out or afterward. This one says, a little boy who ignores the nagging. It's been a while since I drew this. I like that expression. I like that expression on God Kubera the best. Shinkobe, God Kubera, that's cute. Yeah, that's an adorable panel. I love that one. In the sketch, Lisa's head was bent downward. I think it's a bit strange to just let the neck break with the strength that can make it float like that. Eventually it changed to the state where the head is straight like it is now. And then the reason Yuta used the scarf was to make it more stable. They say there's absolutely no sinister intention, believe it or not. And then we have 127 empathy on this one. Let's go though. Dang it, I got distracted by this thumbnail. At first glance, I thought that was Yuta in a different outfit, but it isn't. It's different. So maybe this is somebody new. Either way, though. Okay, we got one more to read. So let's go check out the end of Emergency. It starts with Yuta at the transport ship. I don't really see a proper entrance. Well then, we have a slam. He just breaks in. That seems like it'd be really dangerous and bad. Though I guess they can just fix it with Asvins or replace it with Brahma magic, right? Then Emergency Part 8. The outer wall of the zone 520 has been damaged due to a collision. The damaged area was immediately restored, but we do not know what caused the damage, so please stay away from that area. And he leaves Lise. Sorry, Lise. I really wish I could go with you. I want to always protect you by your side. And make sure this kind of thing doesn't happen again. By your side. Always. She looks so tasty. And then he hits himself in the head. Did I use too much vigor? I can't think straight. Yeah, he was already hungry before. That's it. I need to leave and eat something. Sorry, Lise. I'm sorry. For being bad. For being a bad guy. And see, this is interesting because now he's left a part of himself behind. He's still hungry. He's overused his abilities, and he's probably going to use even more energy to get out of here since he's leaving her behind. So she'll wake up here, still on the ship after her last thing she remembers is getting hit by Asha's attack. She's going to wake up here with that being the last thing with Yuta's scarf. And I wonder what she'll think about all of this. I really want to know where Lisa's going to go. But also, Yuta might be in big danger from Samvati now that he has weakened himself so much. Or he could end up eating Samvati who tries to get revenge on him, which I don't really want to happen, but I could see that happening since we've built it up with him being hungry, him using so much of his energy. She's going after him despite being told not to, pretty much, because mostly because of her revenge, but also because of the Garuda tribe stuff. So I could very much see Yuta eating Samvati, but I feel like that would feel like somewhat of a waste of her character. I mean, I guess not really, but I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of the idea. And then we have her starting to wake up as Asha approaches. Lise, wake up, Lise. Where's this? She's finally awake. Why the heck would she get in that escape capsule all by herself in a situation like that? There must have been a warning notice written somewhere. Is she kind of slow? It's a good thing Asha saved her. To be fair, the warning label should have said something like escape pod. Maybe it should be labeled. I don't know. I feel like if you were told that it was an elevator by somebody just pranking you, you would easily think it was an elevator or something. So, I don't know. Like, escape, my mind also quickly went to escape pod, but even though that's another thing your mind goes quickly to, if you were told it was an elevator, I feel like you just need proper labeling. Label elevators as elevators, label escape pods as escape pods. I feel like this is a workplace hazard. And she remembers back to the last thing she saw. Get up if you're awake. Wait, did you save me, Asha? Yeah. I owe you again, Asha. Forget it. I said get up. Because again, Like God Kubera said, Asha would know what it means. They're not letting me through the checkpoint because of you. Sorry, I'm sorry. You're always so considerate of me. You always save me like this. I was bad. I got hurt by just a few words. It was only for a moment, but I imagined that you hated me. Sorry, Asha. Alright, just let go. You're stretching my clothes. Sorry. This is Aeroplateau's checkpoint. There's so many people and tons of cargo. Is it because we only came here in a transport ship? How could you have just fallen asleep in the cargo area during all of that? I'm sorry, I don't remember at all why I fell asleep, so I'm not sure what to tell you, we have the brown-haired person. That girl, she's the person who told me about the escape capsule. I can't just let this slide. I should bring it up right now. Excuse me, did you get distracted again? No, Asha, I'm not distracted. It's just, you should be relieved that there were no major problems. Yeah, for a rookie like you it caused a problem. You'd be out of work right away. Sorry, I'll try harder from now on. I'm really sorry. It's just what? Never mind. Follow me if you're done talking. Okay. I guess she didn't know since she's new. She'd probably get fired right away if I told them what happened. Still, I don't want this to happen to someone else. So I should say something to her quietly. Excuse me? Yes? Actually, that wasn't the elevator. It was an emergency escape capsule. Don't forget, and don't make the same mistake again. What's her deal? Wait for me, Asha. And we have Claude looking on. If she were acting on Lisa's behalf, she should have attacked. Or she shouldn't have attacked. And if she were going to kill her, she should have landed a precise attack and killed her on the spot. That is true. You would figure with the way she's cut a bunch of stuff up with Bhavati Marut before, that she could have just insta-killed Lise, but instead she left her injured. It seems like having to hurt Lise really messed with Asha, but it also feels like, is she maybe trying to use Lise as bait for God Kubera? Because it does seem like if she did want to kill Lise there, so I was definitely wrong about her thinking she did kill Lise, because she could have just killed Lise. So again, I'm with Claude here. Even now, I'm like, okay, it's not as simple as her just murdering these people. There is something way deeper to this. There's no way that a calculating genius like her would have messed up the Marut spell at that distance. So again, confirmation it was a Marut spell. I was just thinking that because we've seen Asha cut stuff up with Marut spells before. This is frightening. You're a very scary woman, Asha Rahiro. Now Lise will remember this city as a place more terrifying than death. Is that because she can't use her powers here? Again, what is the problem with Lise going to Aeroplateau? Emergency end, next chapter, the mythical island. Again, what is the deal with everybody not wanting her to go here? Okay, well, one last afterword, and then I guess we'll talk a little bit. Okay, last afterward, a bit of beautification from Yuta's perspective. That attack couldn't even be seen with Cloche's eyes. Then where on earth did the scarf Lise was wearing go? And then that brown-haired employee got a lot of hate. I feel bad for her. Anyway, Lise arrived safely at Aeroplateau. This marks the end of the emergency chapter. Next chapter, the Mythical Islands, a chapter that will answer some of the questions you've been wondering about. There really aren't many chapters left now. There are only a few chapters left, but one of them's incredibly long. Again, chapters in reference to the arcs. And 119, Empathy. Okay, so thoughts, now that I've been through these four. I would say that 117 was really, really good. So much mystery, so many interesting exchanges between all the characters, multiple different sides of things. 118 was also really, really good. 119 I'm not as big into. I thought that one was kind of blah. And then 120 brought it back around, where I think 120 was really good once again. And it makes me really excited to keep moving on into the future. So yeah, things I liked. I love the exchanges back at Eloth. I love deepening the mystery with Asha. There's so much complex stuff going on now that we have just seen so many things that instead of seeing so much, it's narrowed things down and I'm like, oh, I know exactly what's going on. There's been so many things that I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. I don't know, like I've had my guesses that have been right and that have been wrong, but Asha is just so all over the place and so complex that until we actually get some reveals, I just straight up do not know. Claude is, I think, a really interesting part in all of this. Claude was a character that, at first, I think I mentioned way back when he was first introduced, I was kind of like okay with him as a character, but he has been like really, really interesting here. I'm so excited. I hope we see more of the brown-haired girl. I need to know more. Why did she do all of this? Why did Asha do what she did? But of course, I was already talking about Asha. What's going on with the oracles and the other people who have received oracles that are seemingly against Asha? And then what's... yeah, I like all of that. The god Kubera stuff I think is really good too, and him saying Asha will know what it means if she shows back up. Presumably that it means that he was there on this planet to heal her and have her come back. And that would be sort of the sign to Asha that Kubera, god Kubera, is here on Wilrarv. And maybe even that's why she didn't kill Lise, because maybe she's using Lise as bait, and she's like, well, if I injure her in a situation like this, the god will have to show up, and if he does show up, then that's confirmation he's here. That could potentially be it. I would say the only things I didn't really like as much, Marana and Samfadi felt kind of whatever, and again, I'm hoping Samfadi isn't just going to be as simple as, oh, I want revenge, so I go after Yuta, then Yuta eats her because he's been hungry this whole time. I hope it's not as simple as that. I kind of don't want all that to happen. I was kind of hoping for more Samfadi with the other Ananta and with Marana and what was going to happen with them and Rintalo and everything, rather than going after Yuta. And I am still just so back and forth on my feelings for Yuta after his development. I'm not a huge fan of him. I don't like edgelord Yuta. I don't like the, this is 2014, the early 2010s kind of young adult novel freaking, Twilight style romance option where it's like, what boy is he going to choose, edgy bad boy, like it is something that I think maybe I wouldn't have disliked as much in the early 2010s, though again I feel like everybody kind of disliked that even back then except for like a small subset of young teen girls. I don't like Yuta's character since his development very much, for the most part. Like, sometimes some of the old Yuta shines through. Sometimes he has these moments where he's like, okay, no, I have to get control of myself. I have to do this. I'm sorry that I'm a bad guy. Like, even his moments with, like, hitting himself in the head and saying, no, I'm sorry, Lise, and everything, I think is good. He still has those good moments where it's like this small glimpse of what used to be one of the best characters, but for the most part, in your general average scene, I don't typically like the way that Yuta talks to other characters. Like, the way it's like super overly edgy, but not in like a campy fun way. Like, the way he talked to God Kubera, I'm like, I don't like that. The way he talks to, like, ever since he developed, I really don't like his interactions with Cossack. Like, a lot of his interactions since developing have not been great when it delves into that super over-the-top edgy stuff. I think his interactions with Lise are hit and miss, but his interactions with Ron were still great. Like, interactions with characters where he doesn't have to dip in to that overly edginess are still good. Like with Ron's not a character that Yuta is trying to like flex or look cool when he's around. And for like other female characters, they're usually characters that Yuta's not trying to have the sort of, again, like Twilight romance like with Lise. So his interactions with those kinds of characters are good, but then his interactions with Lise can be hit and miss because he gets into the Twilight romance edginess, and his interactions with characters that he's trying to look strong against, like, Cossack and God Kubera and stuff can be like super, super. I hate saying cringe. It's not really cringe. It's not really the word. But I would say that with everything else being great and just building this mystery and making me want to see so much more, that is my one complaint. That is my one criticism, not just of these chapters, but of like Kubera and season 2 after the development of Yuta in general. I would say that Yuta's interactions with other characters and Yuta's change in character, Yuta's scenes are kind of some of the weak parts for me that I'm not liking as much, which again is crazy because I'm pretty sure earlier on, like I forget what my ranking was for characters at the end of season 1, but I feel like Yuta would have been very, very high up there, and now I am generally pretty low on Yuta as a character. But yeah, with that, the good and bad for me out of the way, thank you for watching. I'm going to go ahead and end this now so I can try to get this video up for you all. Let me switch over here. Thank you. Like if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of these chapters, my thoughts and reaction. Subscribe for more Kubera, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, it's free and open for anyone. If you would like to help support the channel by dropping a super thanks, that's very much appreciated. And if you'd like to help support the channel and also get your name here at the end of videos and get One Piece videos a little bit early, you can join down below to become a member or go to patreon.com/HakuOfTheTubes, or a link will be in the description to become a patron. Thank you so much to people who are already patrons and channel members. Thank you to chosen regulars Evan Hawley and Bertie Wooster, Magical Girls, FR Nono, JA and VV Van, Cheriton students, David Langstaff and Folded Ghoul, Slayer candidates SG and Stan Cedar, and Pure Elements, Pate Ardial, and Elsa the Storyteller. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you all so much for being here, and I'll see you all next time.